Hey, everybody. Hope you are all doing well. I'm excited to end up doing another one of our presentations here of our marketing insights presentations that we do. This week, what I'm going to talk about is something to do with your website. And unfortunately, too many of us may have people that when they are on our website, they'll leave too early. So we're losing them, or it's calling bouncing. That's not what you want to have for numerous reasons. And I'll go through that today in this talk. But with this, hopefully you'll be able to take these 6 steps or these 6 points and put that into what your website is, maybe make some changes, and you'll get them to stick longer for you. So let me share my screen with you. Go here, there, and I'm going to hide that component. All right, so screen's up. So again, we're going to cover on this today, load speed may be an issue, not having direction, poor design of the site, weak content that doesn't have a good value, not being mobile optimized, that's critical across the board, and then your site being outdated. And I hope that's not the situation either that you have. So my name is Dr. Derek Barron. I appreciate you joining me again today. That's my lovely bride, Terry. I am a chiropractor. My wife is a physical therapist. We work on helping private practice healthcare professionals like yourself, help them grow and scale their practice in numerous ways. Coaching, consulting, whether we do marketing with you or for you, it really just depends on how that goes. So let's dig in a little bit deeper here. If you're an average desktop user, I have approximately 10 seconds to impress you and keep you on my page of my website. The same goes for you. So if you're reading anything on mobile, 53% of you could exit after just 3 seconds. And apparently it only takes about 0.5 of a second from an opinion to be made on the design of the site. Google Analytics tells you a lot about your site and issues you may be having. So the question is, do you have Google Analytics installed on your site so you can find out if some of these things are happening on your site? If you're struggling with high bounce rate and exit rates, have desperately low time on page stats, or are failing to turn visitors into leads and leads into patients, your problem might well be with your website. So in this presentation, I'm going to reveal some of the top reasons that your visitors might be exiting your website early and explain what you can do to prevent that from happening. So what are some implications of visitors leaving your website early? Well, of course, the obvious reason is lost opportunity. Every time somebody exits your website, you miss out on the potential opportunity that moves them towards your website goal. And that website goal should be to, have them sign up for your newsletter, anything like that, have them schedule a consultation, have them call you. The sooner they click away, the sooner you lose that opportunity. So an early exit, again, equals a lost opportunity. However, that isn't the only problem. One of the priorities as a website owner should be to generate more organic traffic. And by that, we mean, organic traffic refers to visitors entering from the search engines, in other words, Google, and that's a free way in which it happens. Yes, you may be paying for some SEO purposes, but they're entering your website for free. So highly qualified and website viewers are ones that you want to keep on your site. So Google tries to provide the highest quality links to their search inquiries. So when a website shows a high bounce rate and exit rate, as well as a low time on page stats, it tells the search engine that their website is low quality and thus these pages rank lower. So if that's happening for you, somebody does a search for a chiropractor near me, physical therapist near me, they're on their phone, they find your site. If you don't have a video on the site that allows them to stay for a little bit longer because we are video friendly, they bounce right away, it's going to go back and tell Google that says, hey, the last few people that we've had jump on this site, they've jumped off right away. Maybe we shouldn't serve this page up anymore. You don't want that to happen. So again, the first thing that we're concerned about is load speed. Load speed is the most common reason for a high bounce rate. It's thought that the average visitor has the patience of 3 seconds on a website load. After this magic number, bounce rates climb dramatically. So you've got to catch them once they first start. This number also aligns with mobile visits, highlighting the importance of building websites that's responsive and are mobile responsive and optimized for mobile. So if you publish blogs and articles, I strongly recommend making an AMP or an accelerated mobile page version of all of your web pages. Other ways to improve your load speed, including installing a caching plugin, reducing the size of your image files, using a server with a CDN included, and deleting any old or unwanted plugins. It's a lot of Latin when it comes to speaking websites, but it's something that you should look into or have your web development person do that. Second is not having direction. That sounds kind of crazy. If you don't encourage your visitors once they're to go anywhere else on your website, why should they? In other words, if you have a video on your website, I highly suggest it. What it does is it allows people to stick there, listen, pay attention, and then you can tell them, hey, if you're interested in what we have to offer, make sure you check out this page and that page. And then they'll do that. They'll actually follow around. That helps with your rankings. So when your web pages don't have directions, no links, no recommended pages, visitors don't have many other options except to leave if they're not interested. This point is particularly apt for anybody involved in content marketing, which we all should be. Every piece of content you publish should provide value to your audience and encourage them to move them towards the goals of your website. This means adding relevant links wherever possible, directing visitors to more content, deeper explanations, lead magnets, and product pages. So when you're on a certain page, if you want them to go to one of your video-rich pages, or if you have a landing page on there that talks about a video series that you give away, make sure there's a button on there that highlights that, or you tell them when you're on certain pages. Whenever you do, make sure you give your visitor a reason to stick around and view more, especially visitors who are on the fence. And again, make sure you've got video on your website. Number 3 would be poor design. This is fairly easy, but when I say poor design, I don't necessarily mean a website that's unattractive, although this can make the difference, especially if it hasn't been updated for years. But what I really do mean is the problem I see time and time again is a website that's designed for fashion over function. And when looks are prioritized, it usually leads to a ton of negative knock-on effects. And then these include painfully slow load speeds, poor navigation, and unresponsive buttons on the site. A website should be designed to serve the purpose, and this should always be a website owner's prerogative. The look of the site should come in second. It's important, but the functionality is first, the appearance is second. I know that we all wanted to have beautiful design pages, but the fact is that most people want minimal design elements so they can just focus on the reason that they're landing on that page, whether that be a product or a simple explanation or ability to ask and or answer a question that you may have posed. The fourth one is weak content and or not having good value. If your website offers very little value to visitors and your content is poor, what would visitors or why would visitors want to stay? A website's value is measured by its ability to inform, educate, entertain, engage, and solve a problem for a visitor. What better way to do that than by adding video on your site? Hint, hint, maybe 6 hints there. So when you don't provide any of these crucial factors, it results in the high bounce rate and an exit rate, as well as the low on-time page stats. And I'm telling you, video helps with that. When you make a promise to a visitor, you must fulfill it. This means creating content that is worthy of the headline and copy used to promote it. It means displaying products that solve prospects' problems and pain points. Number 5 is not having a mobile optimized website. And that is critical. If you haven't optimized your site for mobile, you're effectively creating a website that doesn't appeal to a large percentage of visitors. From a healthcare perspective and somebody looking for healthcare, they're making a very simple search when they're in and around your community. For me, if they're looking for me, find a chiropractor near me. When they're looking for you, find a massage therapist, physical therapist, podiatrist, find a podiatrist near me. They're looking for that. And if your website is not mobile optimized, they're not going to stick around. Plus, it just doesn't look well on there. It's an easy trap to fall into, especially given that websites are typically built on a desktop, meaning when you're building it out, you're on the desktop. Website owners often overlook the fact that almost half of their traffic will arrive on mobile and only design a website for desktop because that's where they built it. As you build and edit your website, it's crucial that you check how changes are affected on mobile. So again, jump to the mobile phone to see what it looks like. So again, these elements to look for include load speed. Does your new plugin slow down mobile load time? Are you compressing images for mobile visitors? Use this. It's called Test My Site. It's created by Google. but as a little note, it's not going to be around that much longer. I'm sure they'll come up with something else, but it tells you what some of the problems are is from a mobile user capability. The navigation. Where's your main menu on mobile? Is it easy to use? Do you have navigational buttons that are big that allows a thumb or a finger to click on and go back and forth? That's always something that happens too often, is that if they're on a mobile device, a smaller phone, people use them still, that they're unable to get back to where they want it or advance to another space. And then layout. Does your desktop design translate well on mobile? Many of the out-of-box themes that come with WordPress are optimized for mobile, but can quickly become a mess once you start doing some editing to them. The key takeaway here is to always double click and double check on your website, especially from a mobile perspective. Number 6, is it outdated? Now, that should go without saying, but old website designs and features immediately create a bad impression amongst visitors to your site. When a site is outdated, it makes a visitor question whether you're still in practice, causes trust and security issues, and provokes concern about your credibility. It's not what you want to have. So when I land on a website for myself, it looks really old. I do one of two things. I either leave immediately or I search for a date on a blog or a post or product review. If I can find a date or see if it's there, I'll leave. What I mean by that is they're looking to see when is the last time you put anything new up, such as a blog post. And even when I stay, I rarely go any further than the landing page because I simply don't trust the site when they look old. So you must keep on top of the design updates and perform audits on your website at least once a year. Now, by the way, this doesn't mean changing your website once every year. It means analyzing against anyone else, especially your competition. You just want to see how it stands up. So in conclusion today, what I want to say is, if you're suffering from a high bounce rate, low time on page stats, and lack of movements of visitors through your funnel, it's probably because it's one of the several reasons that we discussed on the list today. Each time a visitor leaves your website, you're missing out on an opportunity to achieve your digital goals. Try to avoid these 6 mistakes that I've discussed today. And if you haven't yet, make sure you install Google Analytics on your site so you can start to measure that bounce rate that's there. So again, my name is Dr. Derek Barron. As always, I truly appreciate you coming and sharing your time with me here. If there's any way in which we can help you, if you're a private practice healthcare professional, grow and scale your practice, let us know. Any questions about your website? If you'd like us to do an analysis for you, let me know. Just drop the word in website below. But again, thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you next week on another one of our marketing insight shows. Take care. Have a wonderful day.